never mind. So, well, hi, and welcome. This is for you people who are listening now. This is Ferdinand, and he's a colleague of mine. We met via fascia, holistic fascia training, and he has an interesting background and maybe some great tips about motivation when it comes to training and actually getting back from injury. So, but I think we should start from the very beginning. And could you maybe tell us a little bit about your background in training? How did you get into training?
Yes.
At all?
Okay. Hi. Nice to be here. No, it's cool to be here. That's better. Yeah, my background starts at around 4 years. I had a vacation, a holiday with my uncle, and he showed me the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
The cartoon from the 80s, and I watched them. I loved it. The turtles are amazing, and they are doing the cool stuff with the weapons and the martial arts. And I think that was the first influence for me to go into this kind of sports or movement. And around 2 years after the how do you say that in English, when the two parts of Germany get together? The reunion of Germany.
Yes.
And because in the former GDR, it was forbidden to do the martial arts, karate.
Okay.
And I was the first the first group of children. I was part of the first group of children who were allowed to do karate in the renewed Germany, part of the Eastern German. And that was the start of my sports career in studying karate as a martial arts, a real deep martial arts, because my coaches were very basic on self-defense and movement learning and basics. And until now, I'm still doing karate almost now for over 29 years. Next year, I think it with 30 years of studying karate as a martial arts. And through that, in around 13, 14, I was at the age of 13, 14, I looked up at other martial arts because they did something better than me. And I didn't understand, why are there better kickers and better flippers, and why can they jump higher or do more martial arts or do more tricks at martial arts. So I looked over the table. I moved a little bit away from karate, but never quit it. And I had like my experience in capoeira, in jiu-jitsu, in traditional kung fu, wushu, in eskrima, like it's stick fighting from the Philippines. And so I discovered more movement and more possibilities of using my body in different ways. And this got me a new variability of taking more out of my biomechanics. And then there was the influence of one of my coaches, of one of my teachers, who was really into healthy movement. And this got me through my asthma problems, because I am a chronic asthmatic patient. And the meditation, the breathing into the martial arts got me over the sickness, the illness of asthma. So it became just a part of it. And I had a very nice conversation yesterday, and the guy told me, maybe it was good for you to have asthma, because that moved you into this art of this kind of focus of your body. And this was quite a nice idea from him. And through all of this martial arts doing and studying movement, I became a stuntman with the age of 19. And from there on, I wanted to understand the biomechanics even more, because when you're doing like falling out of the car or hitting by a car or jumping out of the window. You need to know your barriers very good, and even when you know how the body can get injured, you know how to get your body back to well-being. And so the physiotherapy thing was back in mind. And I began studying at the same time stuntman and physiotherapy. And how time goes by, I became more physiotherapy than a stuntman. And after working like 3 or 4 years in the physiotherapy, I got the opportunity to teach different physiotherapy techniques. And this is how I got even to fascio, because they saw me doing something and they said, would you like to teach for us too? And this is how we met at a fascio meeting. And that's the short thing about going from martial arts, or I started with martial arts, got into the stuntman thing, got into the physiotherapy, and now I'm teaching movement like I did before in karate, but with a different background now.
Yeah, we will get back to that, because I contacted you because you have this very special background, and we have this advent calendar, Christmas calendar, which is about motivation. And I mean, you started out early practicing martial art, and what kept the motivation for training or practice up? I mean, it seems like you have a lot of curiosity in learning more, but have you ever had any, well, I don't think I want to continue training or practicing?
Yeah, I had that around like 12 years before I went to other martial arts to learn more. My asthma got very, very intense. And at the same time, 2 teachers left the dojo, which I loved. And then the training got very, very boring and annoying, because that teacher who stayed was like, we just have to do this one technique for 1.5 hours. And that was the time I was like, I don't like karate anymore. And just 6 months later, a new teacher came out, and he was like, he was really supporting me, and he kept me into the dojo. He was the he was the big point of not leaving the dojo. And then he took me 5 times a week to the trainings, and even on the weekends he took me to workshops. And he was like, he became my new friend, even if he was 14 years older than me. And I was like 12, 13, and he was almost 30, but we went like big brothers. And he kept my motivation up. And then I realized, if I'm continuing the training, my asthma is getting, my problems with asthma are getting lower or less. I have less problems with my sickness or my illness. And then I realized, okay, when I stop doing my sport, I'm getting worse.
Okay, so you had
I had the understanding at that age. If I train on, I will. It will be more wealthy for me. Wealthy, healthy.
It would be better, healthy. Yeah,
healthy. It would. Same word almost. That keep my my studying into that high level. And even when I think now it's almost 10 years now without any medicaments for my asthma. So I even realized I could minimize the amount of medicaments I take or took. And at one day I decided to, I'm skipping the cortisone medicaments, which are not healthy for my body, but training is. So excuse me, fuck off medicaments, go away. I'm going just for training myself. And yeah, that's until now, that's my motivation, because if I'm not moving, I'm degenerating.
Yeah. So you kind of could get your health issues back if you or if you stay out of training. And that's a great motivation, feeling that your body is actually working and functioning then, because you got the benefits from training, and you well acknowledge that you didn't have the problems with the asthma. And that's fantastic. I mean, just from doing martial arts, I mean, you can get better and in the end have no problems with asthma. That's wonderful to hear. But I mean, then one of the reasons also that I contacted you, I know that you about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, actually injured yourself, and I know that you have had you have worked your way back into fitness again. And when you said this about your asthma and everything going away with the training, but I mean, how did it affect you, this injury? How did it affect you? Did the asthma come back, or what happened?
For your people, I ruptured my tendon of the Achilles. Or Achilles tendon.
Achilles tendon,
Achilles tendon. I ruptured it in last year in April. Just 5 weeks before my son was the date of birth. And that was a really disappointing moment, because I just felt, oh no, how can I just disappoint my partner? How can I just disappoint my body with this amount of injury? And I was like 2 weeks really, really down, really depressed even, because you have, like, after the injury, you are kicked out for 2 weeks just doing nothing. And after the 2 weeks, I had the big target. I must be able to walk when my son gets birth. So there was like this big external motivation. I have to be there for my son, and I have to be there for my wife, my partner. And of course, because I'm a physiotherapist, I'm a mover, I'm an enthusiastic acrobat or enthusiastic cliff diver. There's so many things around that. And I just told myself, get your ass up, go into the pull-ups, the push-ups, what you can do without using your leg. And I got fat.
In 2 weeks.
Not in 2 weeks, but in these 3 months, I couldn't do any cardiovascular training. And I wasn't feeling myself, because I walked out of the shower into the mirror and I said, oh God, this fat guy, I don't like him. And that was another motivation. It was a really hard way, even after the 3 months where I get back to work or get back to training. Even karate training was like 3.5 months later. And the doctors told me like 12 months without that amount of training you are used to. So you need 12 months for recovery. It took, in fact, it took 3 months of recovery, and then I got back into Come Back Stronger. So I came back into Come Back Stronger feeling. And the motivation is, it never left that much. I had my little depression in that, but if you are a moving person, if you like movement, I wanted to get back into karate. I wanted to get back into, even doing what I did, like salto mortale, backflip. And funny thing, just this Monday, I got back into my backflip after 1.5 years after my injury. It was the time my head was around, my body was able to, okay, let's do this, let's try this now. It worked. It wasn't a good backflip, not at all. It was clumsy, or the technique was really, really worse, but it worked. That kind, I was able to do that, but you have to get your ass up. That's the point.
You have to get your ass up.
You have to get your back.
Do the work.
Yeah.
But because you have coming from where you came from, I mean, being a stuntman and a mover and very used to that your body is functioning the way you want it to do, and you have been able to do a lot of stuff with your body. You're flexible and you can do backflips and everything, and then just have to be still and not being able to move. What I hear is that the motivation has been to, you know what you could do, and then you went into not being able to do anything of that, and you wanted to be that kind of moving person again. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a horrible feeling not to be able to move my body like I wanted to move it. Yeah. And I just wanted to get that back.
And has it been a hard journey for you?
It has
been
it has really hard, because the rupture of the Achilles tendon is one of the heaviest tendon injury which is possible in the body.
Yeah,
I know, and that's the thing. Through my work, I mentioned that it is just a rupture of a tendon. So there are so many clients, so many patients in this world who got a heavier injury or a heavier life or a heavier way to get back. So like a stroke or like a collapse of the heart or collapse of whatever. And it is just a structural injury. So who am I if I'm not going back? Because I'm telling every day my clients to get back. And so it is, of course, I said, I have to be now the example for every person I treat, for every person who knows me. And one thing, all of my friends, all of the colleagues around, they said, I knew that you will come back this fast. So it wasn't not very, what's the word?
You can say it in German if you don't find the English word, and then we'll find out what it is in
wertschätzend is the word.
No, that I can't translate that. I'm sorry.
I try to describe it. The people who said, I knew that you could do that, it doesn't get the whole amount of work worthy. So it was like a worthless feeling.
Okay, so
like I knew that you could that. You could do that, because it was so much work. I trained every day, and I treated myself every day more than one time. And I had a rehab, which maybe you can call like a Champions League rehab, because I had so much support from the companies I'm working for. I had like these vibration utilities, and I had cell actives electrotherapy. So I really had good opportunities and good possibilities to get back. But I had to do it for myself, and because the health system, I don't know how it is in Sweden, but in Germany you get like, after an injury, after an operation and surgery, you get like free recipes or free 3 to 6 sheets for like 6 treatments per sheet. So it is not that much to get back properly and to get fast or good. And that was the thing. I just hadn't went back fast. I needed to be back good at the same time. So you like not like the football stars who are back on track for 6 weeks, but then after 30 they are crashed everything in their bodies because they went over their comfort zones too many times and about just performance. And I needed performance and functionality.
So I mean, like you said, it's kind of similar in Sweden. We do get a couple of treatments, or like 10 or a certain amount of treatments when you injure yourself. But as you said, after that, you needed to then put in the time and the work to find the time and do the work several times a day to get back. Yeah. And what I mean, you said that you had a lot of help from different companies with different equipment. What did you do? I mean, maybe is there maybe something we can learn from? How did you treat your injured Achilles tendon? What's important when you're trying to come back from an injury like that?
Important is you have to put a big focus on your nutrition. You have to get the essential nutrition, like the vitamins, the acids you need to for rehab. Then you need like good food, healthy food, and because that's the structure from inside.
Yeah, it's the building blocks.
Yeah, the building blocks.
So the body can regenerate itself and build.
Then you need the activation techniques, or the in Germany we call it the passive techniques, the hands-on techniques for fascia treatment, for muscle treatment, for how does it called, the lymph drainages, and even the relaxation of the body parts, which are working more now. So you have to focus not on your injured leg, even on the other leg, because the right leg compensated so much. I got knee problems after that because the leg does more than it used to, or that it could do. And then I worked like with different tools, like I was cupping, I was fascia tooling my deep tissue. I was like mobilizing.
People, many people in Sweden don't really know what you mean when you say fascia tooling. What could you elaborate on that?
It looks like a sword.
A sword,
like a sword, and with this tool, metallic tool, you are going into the body, but not under the skin. So it's just like on pressure. The skin, pressure and movement, and then you're like it's not really breaking or destroying the adhesions or the distortions, but you are moving the sheets and the the different planes of your body.
The different plane. So you have the different structures can glide against each other. So it's not like stuck.
So the distortion breaking, like, or and it's like you can do it in different ways. You can do it with like metallic tools, or you can do it with the cupping tools, which is more the under pressure. Then I did like the vibration training, which is stimulating the muscles more. Then I had the I said before, the electrotherapy, which is going directly to the cell membrane, which is lowering the permeability of the cells, so the building structure can be transfer easier. So the how does it call, the changing of the Stoffwechsel?
I know what you mean. Utbytet av näringsämnen så att näring kan gå in och restprodukter ut. So I mean, you have nutrition going in to the cell, and the waste products going out from the cell. So just
the trophic. I think trophic. Maybe it's the trophic, but I don't know.
I don't know actually. The transmission of nutrients and waste products.
And then I got very fast into movement without the left leg. I did push-ups, I did pull-ups, I did
Yeah.
one-legged squattings, I did training for my core. I was even doing some yoga, Pilates movings. Then I moved very fast into the natural born movement concept again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And just because it's you have to increase the amount of blood flowing through your leg, because that is circulation is everything in your body.
Yeah.
And what I did more, I did manual techniques for mobilize the joints. I think, and different. I was taping. I was everything which helped me to get back on track, good and fast.
Yeah.
Efficient. That's a good word for.
Yeah.
I need an efficient way of getting back.
Yeah. And how did it take those 12 months that the doctor said, or you were back functioning in a good way before those 12 months? Or
of course. Yeah, because
stupid question.
Yeah, maybe not, because they said to me it can take up to 12 months or even 12 months, or at least 12 months, but this is just a statistic. And I am a moving person. I was a moving person before the surgery, so my blood flow and my even my mindset was maybe way better than it was like with a person who is just playing 2 times a month a little bit tennis and then rupture this Achilles tendon. So the basic of my body was at least a little bit better than the normal amount. I hope that. And then I just thought of it could not take just 12 months, because I need to crawl with my baby. I need to crawl with my clients. I have to be back on track, better, fast and efficient. And it took a lot of time, of course, at home and a lot of training. But I think when I was like being at the same level as it was like 7 months, maybe. Yeah, but different on the movement patterns, because the salto back, the backflip took way longer, because the pressure on the tendon is much higher than just when you're doing like push-ups with the stretched Achilles tendon. So maybe some movements are not the same as they were, but different movements are now way much better than before. My pull-up rate increased much more. Now I'm almost able to do like 9 or 10 push-ups in one row, pull-ups.
Pull-ups, yes.
Because I had to focus much more about my upper body.
So a weakness became a strength.
Actually. And you need to adapt. You need to learn new ways of training, of treating yourself, or of like now you need through this time a new training method, because you can't go out that much like in 1 year ago. So you need to adapt the possibilities.
Yeah. And it seems like you have throughout your whole life, actually, when you told us about when you were 12 and you had a lot of problems with your asthma, and how you learned breathing techniques and meditations, and through the martial arts you learned to manage the asthma, and then gradually it got better. So you had that was one difficulty you had that you learned from and made maybe more progress than other people would have done without the asthma. And this is kind of the same thing. If without this injury, you wouldn't have learned all these new things, and you wouldn't have the experience you have now. And you say you have become better in certain areas when it comes to your pull-ups and other areas as well, because you needed to adapt a whole lot. So the weakness has become a strength, as you say, actually.
And I learned a lot of treatment now, because I'm a physiotherapist now with the acknowledge of this injury, because or not because, maybe you can say now I'm a specialist for treating ruptures of the Achilles tendon. Just because of the experience the experience I made. I know which possibilities are lying in the body. And I can say I'm treating my clients even more active after this injury. So I don't accept these kind of, I don't know. Even
You're a tough one.
it sounds a little bit hard or horrible, maybe, getting me as a physiotherapist, but the only way back is through activation, and the activation is a self-care thing. You can't get this from another person. You have to work your own off.
And you had a very clear goal. You knew where you were going. Sometimes I wonder if it is what maybe others lack when they don't get better. Maybe it is a goal, because if you don't know what you're working towards, what your motivation is, it's difficult to know what to do, maybe. I've been in the situation where I have had a body that wasn't functioning at all because of medications and disease. And but that was kind of a key for me, because then I knew what I didn't want. And when I knew what I didn't want, it was easier to know this is what I want. And then I had my goal. And nowadays I work out because I feel that I feel so much better in my body. I don't have pains and aches and everything. And being able to move, not having to be afraid to fall because I fell. My muscles just degenerated in a way because of heavily medicated. I was heavily medicated with cortisone, and not being able to just walk freely that's not something you want to end up with. So I'm working out to function as you do. So maybe goal is what some people lack when they don't make progress in their recovery. I don't know. It's just a thought.
It could be. And I just want to get this a little bit farther. When you need someone who is your guidance, you need someone who is your teacher, your coach, because you and I, we are kind of professionals in our profession, what we are doing. And if you are not a professional mover, or not a professional therapist, or not a professional yogist, then you need the support of someone who is. So that's my best advice to you out there. Get a trainer, get a coach, get a friend who knows more than you about movement or training. You can't know everything. That's not possible. So even now I'm missing a teacher for my own. So I'm looking out for different people who are better than me in handstanding, who are better than me in martial arts, who are better than me in kind of movement thing or therapy thing. So I'm re-educating myself in different kinds of professions. And get yourself a coach. That's the best advice you can do, because you can't do everything by yourself. You need support, and that's not a bad thing to get support. That's a good thing, because you can't know anything, everything, anything. Get your support. That's the best advice.
It's a really good advice. And that also sums up a lot of what you have been talking about. You had your coach from a very early age when you practice martial arts. And so is that also a key to keeping the motivation for practicing up, to keep going to the trainings?
Yeah. And maybe not a coach, or more is a training buddy or a workout buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious about, will my son be my workout buddy one time?
Yeah.
So get a friend or whatever, your wife, your man, your brother, your sister, get a coach and a buddy for working out, and then everything is possible, really.
Yeah, that's wonderful advice. Is there anything you feel like, well, Camilla, you haven't asked me about this is important too?
No, I think we had a nice round of questions, and hopefully answers too.
Yeah, I think so. It's been very interesting listening to you. I mean, I know you since before, but a lot of things actually was new to me as well. And it's an inspiring journey you have gone through. I mean, rupturing your Achilles tendon and then recovering and healing from that. Now functioning again the way you did before the injury. So I'm very thankful that you wanted to be a part of this advent calendar, and I hope that our members and whoever listens to this can find it motivating and inspiring, because you are inspiring in my mind.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.